I'm at this great big old deserted gold mine. Gold mining in this area dates back to the 1700s when the Spanish and Indians searched for gold in the washes. There were once over 24 separate mining claims here, but in the late 1800s they consolidated into a single gold mining company. In 1910, they shut down after recovering about 150,000 ounces of gold. Modern mining resumed here in the 1980s and continued for about 20 more years, recovering about 650,000 more ounces of gold. The mine shipped their ore to a mill about 6 miles from here using a narrow gauge railroad. Within a couple of years, the railroad got washed away after some record rains. It's unclear if the railroad was ever rebuilt, but within a couple of years, the mill had been dismantled and rebuilt here on site. I found where the railroad used to leave the old mine and then head down into the canyon on its way down to the Colorado River where the mill sites used to be. So let's see if we can't follow it. And here's where it dumps into the next canyon, which is now the road that leads down to the Picacho State Recreation Area in the old mill site. That is Picacho Peak straight ahead. The railroad from the mine to the mill would have come down this, I'll say modern dirt road, but instead of turning as the road does, it would have continued straight behind us where it made a right turn right below that peak straight ahead. And from there, it's much easier to follow the old rail bed. And here's where the line came up out of the wash. Continuing towards the mill, you can see a clear, elevated rail bed here. And the rest is pretty easy to follow until we get to the mill. Although the railroad stopped running over 100 years ago, this old line remains an important transportation network, but now just for the wild donkeys that live in this area. So while the rail bed is pretty easy to follow, the burro trail is also quite obvious. especially where it goes around this eroded area of the bed. Here's an interesting area. I assume the railroad passed by where I'm walking right now. And you can see where it picks up on the other side, but quite a washout here. Perhaps there was a trestle here, or maybe it was just a dirt fill, hard to tell. And the railroad bed meets up with the road that leads out to the scenic overlook. Well, this is definitely the end of the line, walking wise. There obviously used to be a bridge, and the mill is just on the other side of that hill. We're looking out over the old town site, covered with water now because of the reservoir that was created when the Imperial Dam was built. Let's go take a look. Doesn't look like a very comfortable cell. Ooh, ice cream. This is the original mill site that was replaced by the much larger mill on the hillside behind us. This old mill was built out of a rock called Rhyolite Tuff, and it was quarried here on site. Six openings. The three on the right obviously have chutes coming down. The three on the left look sealed. I wonder if those were meant for expansion or if they once held chutes themselves and were sealed up later. And only the middle chute is still open. This is the site of the upper mill. And after the railroad was washed out, instead of rebuilding the railroad, they just moved this mill to the mine site where it currently sits. Well, this appears to be some kind of a boiler. So when they moved this mill, they moved just about everything that could be moved. We are a good distance from the main part of the newer mill, and this thing just seems to go on forever. There's something on top of that hill. There's all kinds of footings up and down this canyon wall, and it looks like down there is kind of like the waste from gold mining.